welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna be doing another chit chat journal with me, and I'm just gonna be journaling about school because it's apparently back to school season, and I just thought, why not make a spread about school? And I just figured that it would be a nice kind of video to just talk to you guys about my school experience and just give you some advice about school. Not sure if it'll be helpful, but I guess why not? So if you didn't know, I am out of school already. I am 20 years old. I graduated in 2017 and I'm currently not in university, so I'm not a college student, but I graduated high school. And since most of you guys are pretty much still in high school or younger, I guess I could just tell you guys or give you guys some insight on what my experience was like when I was in high school or younger, So yeah, I'm just gonna be doing a random spread while talking to you guys. I also asked you guys on Instagram for some questions or anything you guys want me to talk about in particular. You guys sent me some of those kind of questions and I will just be answering some of those while I do this spread. So I guess I'll just start off with the topics that I wrote down on my laptop. I pretty much wrote down all the questions that were kind of similar to one another. So yeah, so the first question that someone asked was, what was the hardest subject in school? Oh yeah, by the way, I just wanted to point out that anything I say in this video is based off my personal experience, and school is different for everyone, so just because I went through something doesn't mean you're gonna go through it. It's different for everyone, so just keep that in mind. And I'm human, and whatever I go through, it's what I went through, and who knows if you guys will go through the same thing. Life is unexpected for everyone, and that's just the way it is. Okay, so for me personally, the hardest subject was probably science or math. Anything science, like chemistry, physics, biology, just any science, I did not like it. I just don't thrive in science. I don't know, I don't really like science, so it was hard for me to do science. In my senior year, I didn't do science, so there's that. Oh, also, I need to point out, sorry, there's a lot of disclaimers, but I am from Sydney, Australia. I'm from Australia, so the education system here in Australia might be different from your education system wherever you are. It's completely different from United States or Europe or just anything like that, so just keep that in mind that I don't know what it's like in other places. I'm just saying my experience from the education system in Australia. So yeah, I just didn't like math. I didn't like science. I didn't take math in my senior year as well because I really don't thrive in math and just numbers. It stresses me out and it's not cute. So I didn't do math and I just found it really hard. For my senior year, I mostly did subjects that I knew I could do. So you get to choose what subjects you do. You get to do 5 or more subjects. I did art, history, English, a society and culture subject, and PDHPE, which is basically health. So yeah, those were the subjects that I did, and I wouldn't choose anything else. I feel like I really liked the subjects that I chose in high school, specifically year 12, and I wouldn't change it, The next question was, what is my favorite subject? I'm basing a lot of my answers off my senior year because my senior year was basically what I remember the most because it's pretty recent. But my favorite subject, when I think about it now, I think I'd say it was history. I personally like modern history and it was just really fun. At first, I really hated it and I really wanted to drop it in senior year. But then we got a new teacher and that he really saved us. He made history so much easier and better. I mean, it wasn't easy completely. There were times where it was hard, but having a good teacher really impacts the way you do in that class, and I really think it's true because you're more motivated if the teacher is good at teaching, If you have a bad teacher, you're less motivated to try, and that honestly sucks because we have no control over what type of teacher we get, and I guess I was just lucky that my history teacher ended up being really good, and he was very supportive and he was just helpful in general. So yeah, I really enjoyed history. It was just really fun. I used to like visual arts, like art, but I really don't like the theory of art, so there's that. And my teacher wasn't that good, so that is also another example as to how a teacher can affect the way you think of a subject. That sucks, you know, like you really have no control over what teacher you get, and if you want to do well in a class, it sucks when the teacher like impacts your, I guess, perception of that class. It just be that way. I'm basically gonna talk about these topics like in like categories. I kind of split them up into categories. So those were the subject questions. And yeah, so moving on is studying. The first question that I picked out was studying hard or easy for you? Studying is very like, everyone has a different opinion on studying, and sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's easy, and it's just different for everyone. And for me personally, in a way, I didn't struggle that much when it comes to studying. When I put the effort and time into it and I'm really like productive and in the mood to study, I will grind, and like it wasn't that hard, like I can do it. But then yeah, of course there were times where I really did not have the motivation or ability to study, especially with the subjects I didn't like. For example, when I did math and science, studying for it, I didn't like it, and it wasn't working out as well as when I studied like other subjects that I actually liked. There will always be times where it's gonna be hard for you to study because you might not like the subject, or it's just really confusing, and that's okay, because I mean, everyone learns in their own pace, and sometimes it takes longer for you to understand stuff. But I guess you kind of have to discipline yourself, but at the same time go easy on yourself, because there's only so much you can learn in a span of a few hours, or like in a certain time period, you know? You can't force everything to fit in your mind, or you can't force yourself to understand everything in a short amount of time. So in a way, just be nice to yourself, and you'll get there eventually. Like honestly, don't worry, you'll get there eventually. Like I remember there's a time where, actually, there's been multiple moments, especially in senior year when everything is like, I guess, serious. Like everyone is trying to do good to get good marks before they graduate. There was a time where it was so stressful because you think like this is it. If I don't do well, then that's everyone's perception. You think that it's gonna like be the end of everything. Like if I don't get this grade, like it's over. I'm gonna be a failure, you know? Sometimes you have those thoughts. But yeah, I mean, it's easy for me to say that it'll be okay no matter what happens, but I hope that if any of you guys are struggling with school, I hope you have just a small thought in your head, just to remind yourself that no matter what happens, it'll be okay. I know that feeling of thinking like, if I don't get this grade, or if I don't graduate with a certain like mark, then I'm a failure. Like I've had that thought, but coming from someone who's graduated already, it's not the end of the world. Obviously it's different for everyone, and everyone has their own expectations, especially from like friends or family and this and that. And it's just easy for me to say because I wasn't in the situation where I had to get like super good grades, or like A+ all the way. Like everything other than A was bad, and I had to only get A's and stuff. Like I wasn't really put in that situation where I had that much of an expectation put on me. That's just me. But hopefully whoever is watching this, and if whoever has expectations like that put on you, just remember that in the end, you know how well you did, and if you worked your ass off and you put effort and you tried your best, then that's all that matters, no matter what grade you get. Does that make sense? I think I rambled on for a long ass time about that. It's like a really broad topic, and I could go on and on about studying and getting good grades and stuff. So yeah, the next thing that I wanted to go over was how to deal with stress. This is similar to what I talked about. So stress is normal, you know, everyone stresses out. I stressed out, especially when you leave your assignments last minute and you just have a short period of time to complete something. Like, you know, we all go through that. It's so stressful. Like, you know, you tell yourself not to leave things last minute, but in the end you end up doing it and you're like, oh crap, like here we go again. But when I was dealing with stress, I made sure that I reminded myself that I wasn't alone. Like, I had people who are going through the same thing as me. Having supportive people around you, it's really helpful. Like, I don't think I would have been able to handle school the way that I did if I didn't have friends supporting me, or like who were going through the same thing. Like, just knowing that I'm not alone was super helpful. If you're feeling stressed out, just take a break and just take a moment to just breathe, because we're human. We need time to just take a break and just chillax before going back to the grind and doing what we have to do. Because the more you stress out and the more you like push yourself to get stuff done, you know, the more likely you're going to burn out and feel unmotivated, and you'll just end up doing poorly when it comes to your work, you know? Like, you're not doing your best because you're not as like motivated and you're just so burnt out. It's not cute. Like, I've been there, you know. I pushed myself too far when it comes to my work, and I ended up not doing as well as I wanted to, because you could just see the stress in my work, and that's not good. So even just taking a few minutes, 10 minutes to take a break after, like while you're studying, just take a 10-minute break, do what you want, watch a quick YouTube video, watch a movie, or journal, anything that relaxes you before going back. I think that's like a good way to handle your stress. Yeah, just taking a breather and letting your mind breathe for a second. Of course, you have to have discipline and you have to remind yourself like, okay, break time is over, I need to get back onto my work. But I feel like it'll just be more helpful if you took a break and you did what you wanted to do for a short moment, just so you don't overwork yourself. I am very guilty because I procrastinated a lot, and at times I would think, oh, I deserve a break, this and that, because I'm so stressed, I deserve a break. And then I end up going on a break that lasted like how many hours? Like, I'm so guilty of that. But yeah, you also just need to kind of discipline yourself and just remind yourself like, okay, that's enough. Time to get back onto work, time to grind. And yeah, these advice things that I'm giving right now, or like just everything I'm saying, I feel like it's not making sense, or I'm just spilling out random things. But honestly, to be like completely honest, like I was not the perfect student, you know, in school. Like, I mean, I did well. For me, I reached the goal that I wanted to reach. I got the grades that I wanted, and at the same time, I had like the best time in school. I just put myself first. Thankfully, my family wasn't... I mean, they pushed me to do well and stuff all the time. Like, I'm grateful that they pushed me in a way that made me do well. But at the same time, they let me do what I wanted. Like, they didn't force me to do math. I mean, I feel like math is such like a typical subject that, especially from like an Asian family or Asian background, you'd expect to do math. And that's so like stereotypical. But at the same time, like, you know, doing math is like, oh my god, you're so smart. But thankfully, my parents didn't really push me to do math, because I wasn't good at it, and doing it would just bring me down, and that's not good. So I did the subjects that I knew I would do well in, and I knew that I liked. Keep in mind, high school in Australia is grade 7 to grade 12. So yeah, we don't have the middle school phase thingy. Like, high school is like with year 7 to year 12. So yeah, high school for me was just a really fun time. I mean, sometimes it was weird, like, you know, you go through the weird high school stage, but honestly, my favorite year was my senior year. From year 10 to year 12, it was like the best, honestly. Okay, so I got sidetracked from the topics that I was talking about, but I'll just keep going. So I was in the category studying, and the question that I was asked was how to make your school notes look neat and presentable while being fast. Okay, when I was in high school, I didn't have this journal channel or this I didn't have the journal Instagram that I have. I didn't journal back then. I did bullet journal though. So I've always had a planner ever since high school started. I only started bullet journaling in year 12. I wasn't really like a studygram type of person. I did try to keep my bullet journal like creative and stuff because I mean that was the time where I found Amanda Rach Lee and all these study accounts, and I was so motivated to have a bullet journal, but I wasn't so extra like I am right now. Like when you see my bullet journal now, it's so decorative and I just put so much effort in it. But I personally wouldn't do that type of style if I was still in school. If I was still in school, I would just do a regular plain bullet journal layout because in the end of the day, my main focus is to get stuff done and not to waste time, you know? And at the time, I wouldn't have had the time to basically make those pretty bullet journal layouts. So for the question of how to make your school notes look neat and presentable while being fast, I mean, you can still make your notes look pretty by using like, I guess, markers and highlighters and stuff for color, but I wouldn't focus too much on the really neat and pretty notes, you know? Like for me, I don't think I'd be able to do all of those things, like make it look neat, presentable, and do it in a fast pace. I don't know, I personally can't do that, so I would focus more on just making it look pretty by using like markers for like the headers and stuff, but then just do quick notes. People with like neat handwriting, they are so blessed because they can probably write fast but still write neatly. But for me, I probably wouldn't be able to focus that much on my handwriting. I guess don't compare your notes to like other people, because you see like these notes that people post on like their studygram accounts and you think, oh, how did they make those notes like so quick, but it still looks pretty. I'm pretty sure people redid their notes. They made their notes messy at first because they tried to be fast, and then they'll rewrite it later on when they get home, and then they just make it look prettier and stuff. Like that's how people have pretty notes, I think. Unless they're just like really, they're crazy fast and talented, and wow, I wish I was like that. But yeah, nah, your main priority is to take effective and efficient notes that will make you understand what you're learning about more than what your notes look like. You know what I mean? Okay, I haven't journaled and I haven't done that much. Wow, I keep talking. I can't focus. Okay, I will try to be more productive. So I'm gonna add this picture. This is a photo booth photo that I took with my best friends in high school. This was at our formal, kind of like prom, I think. I don't know. It was after we graduated and we had a formal, and this is the photo we took. And I just thought it would be nice to add it here because it's relating to school and they were my best friends in school. I guess to make your notes prettier, for me, I would just, I guess, use more colors in your notes. Like color code your notes, do simple calligraphy for the headers. Because doing the really complicated ones, like adding an outline or drop shadow, it probably will take longer to do. So just do normal calligraphy with colored marker and then color code your notes with highlighters and stuff. And that can make your notes pretty as well. The next thing I wanted to talk about was social life, because I personally think social life, or having like your social life in school, it's really important because you need people by your side to survive school, in my opinion. And it's just really hard to just go through school alone because there's so much things that happen and you don't want to be alone through that. And yeah, I think I really thrived of having a social life, so I really appreciate that category. So yeah, the first thing I wanted to talk about was friendships in school and losing friends. So when I started high school, so grade 7, of course I had to meet new people and all of that, and I'm thankful that I ended up meeting really nice people in year 7, and I ended up becoming friends with people who I'm pretty much still friends with till this day. And honestly, I don't even remember how we became friends, but I guess you kind of just have to put yourself out there and eventually you'll find someone who you'll click with. it's very unpredictable, like making friends. Sometimes you can try to find your friend group, like try to find friends, and sometimes you kind of just have to force yourself to be friends with some people. I don't know, that sounds pretty bad, but like, I mean, like socialize. Like you kind of just have to socialize with people and see if you click or if you don't. And sometimes you'll just be placed in a situation where you do meet people who you just automatically click with, and it's like really rewarding when you do find that set of friends, or just even one friend that you click with. Like, it's just so nice to know that someone gets you. It's a very subjective topic. Like, sometimes it's harder for people to make friends, and sometimes it's easier, depending on like how easy it is for you to like put yourself out there. If it's harder, then it's okay. Like, eventually you will meet someone who you can trust and who you vibe with, and don't worry, the time will come, because everyone is destined to meet those type of people. Like, you're destined to meet a friend eventually. It just all comes down to time. But yeah, for me, I met my set of friends in year 7, and at first I was very shy. Like, I wasn't open to making friends. Like, I didn't randomly go up to a person and just put effort to make friends, you know? Like, it just kind of happened, and I'm glad that it did, because at the time, like, yeah, I wasn't confident, and I was very shy. So thankfully I ended up making friends when I was still that type of person. And as years go by, you start to become more familiar with the people in your year group, and you start to get more comfortable, and you're more open to like communicating and talking to them, because that's what I felt. In year 7, I didn't really want to talk to people because, you know, you all come from different schools. Well, that's for my case. Like, everyone was from different schools. I didn't know anyone, and the only time I got to know a person was if we were in the same class, and I guess I kind of just got to know them a bit more if I was forced to be in a group with them or had to listen to what people had to say. Like, that's basically how I got to know new people. As time went by in high school, I started to get familiar with the people in my year group, and eventually by grade 10, I'd say, I developed like a really close friendship with a lot of people in my year group, and we all just clicked, and everyone in this friend group that I had, we were just so close, and I was so thankful that I got to have that type of friendship, because there are so many of us, and it was just so fun having such a big group of people who vibed with one another. I'm just basically talking about my experience. Like, everyone has their own different experiences when it comes to making friends, and I'm just personally glad that I got to click with the people I met, and we got to, I guess, experience school together. This group of friends that I had, this whole squad thing that we had going on, we were like close ass friends until the day we graduated high school. And without them, I think I wouldn't have been able to enjoy high school as much as I did. I don't think I would have been able to do as well as I did, because just having them around, it was very nice. And I really enjoyed high school because of them. We're not as close anymore nowadays. Everyone just has their own lives nowadays, so I'm not entirely sure what they're all up to now, but either way, I'm just really glad that I got to experience that part of my life, and I really wouldn't take it back, and I wouldn't change it, you know? That's another thing I wanted to go over. People you meet in school. If you don't have friends, or you don't vibe with a lot of people in school, like, it's okay, because eventually you will meet people who will be your close friends and who will be in your life for like a long time. And sometimes it's not during school. Maybe it will be during college, or maybe after college, before college, this and that. Like, everyone has their time, and you'll just get there eventually, because sometimes you can't force friendships or relationships. It just sort of happens unpredictably. It's unpredictable. Like, life is unpredictable. You don't know what's gonna happen, and that's just the way life is. Next thing is different cliques and groups. Okay, I just want to briefly go over this because I don't really know what to say in terms of this, I guess, topic. Because cliques, it's like a huge thing in school. Like, there will be so many different cliques, and that's just the way high school or school works in general. People will find their own group of people, and like you can kind of see it. This is this type of group and this is this type of group. And I don't know, sometimes you think like, oh, what would it be like to be in that type of group, like this clique? But then again, you can't really force yourself into a clique because sometimes it just doesn't work out. So you're better off just finding your own group of friends and just see where you belong. Cliques are a weird thing. For me, cliques were very apparent like in the early days of school, like early high school days, grade 7 and stuff, because everyone's just trying to find the group that they fit into. But to be honest, by senior year, like year 12, we all kind of just, like, there was no, I guess, cliques like that. There were friend groups, different friend groups, like you can see there are different friend groups, but they didn't really have the label of you guys are this type of group, like the sporty group, or you guys are the, you know what I mean? Like it was just all random by year 12. Like everyone just not got along with one another, but it was just so mixed. Like everyone was open to one another. It wasn't just, oh, because you're a sporty person you belong with the sports group, or because you're like a nerdy person you belong with the nerds, you know? Like by year 12, at that point, like no one really cares what type of person you are. Like if you vibe with a person, then you vibe with a person. Like, yeah, it's not all about what category you belong in. It's kind of confusing. I don't know, maybe it's just me and my experience, but it wasn't like that where people only belong to a certain group. Just because I'm Asian doesn't mean I'm gonna just stay with the Asians. That's a thing. That's how I started off with my friends. Like, it sounds so weird, like how this whole race thing, like, oh, because you're Asian, we're friends. But like, that's kind of just how it worked out in the beginning. But eventually, as time went on in school, our friend group we kind of expanded our friend group, and just we became friends with everyone regardless of their ethnicity or what they liked and disliked. Even if they liked different types of music, it didn't matter. If we vibed with one another, then we're all friends. I'm probably rambling on so much and it doesn't make sense, but I'm just saying what's on my mind, and hopefully you guys feel me, or you just understand where I'm coming from. It's just nice to hear different opinions and what people think of certain situations, and just hearing what other people have gone through, because everyone's experiences are different, and it's just interesting to see how people deal with certain situations and stuff like that. I feel like there's just so many things you can talk about in relation to school. So if you guys want me to talk more about other things that I might not mention in this video, let me know. I'd be more than happy to just sit down and talk in front of the camera and just talk about what I think about school and just different topics relating to school. It would just be a nice discussion type of video, you know? And it would be nice to hear what you guys think about the topics that I talk about, because everyone has their own experiences and what they think. So I'd love to hear what you guys think. Okay, another topic was, were you shy to talk about K-pop at school? In the beginning, in year 7, because I've been into K-pop, like I was already into K-pop when I started high school. So in grade 7, I liked K-pop, and in a way I was open about it, because when I started high school, I went to high school with my cousin, Angel, and we were always together. So Angel, my cousin right here, she liked K-pop as well. So in a way I wasn't really ashamed of it, because I had her and she liked K-pop. And when you have people who like the same thing as you, you don't really feel ashamed because you're not alone. So that's how I felt. Because she liked K-pop, I wasn't ashamed at the fact that I liked it. But when I met new people, like when I was making new friends and stuff, it wasn't something, I don't know, it wasn't really something that bothered me. Because now that I think about it, I really wasn't that, like, I was very open about liking K-pop, which is weird because it's like a whole different story now. Like, I'm not that open about it. I don't know, maybe in high school I just didn't care what people thought of me, and I'm thankful that the friends that I made in high school, like in year 7, my friends actually liked K-pop, so it wasn't an issue for me. Like, I wasn't really worried about the fact that, oh, will people judge me that I like K-pop and stuff. So there's that. Of course, there were people, like other classmates, that might have judged me for it, but but at the same time, like, I didn't really care because I had people around me who liked it as well. I'm fortunate enough to have had friends like that, because I know there are people out there who don't have friends like that, or like they don't have people around them who like K-pop like that. So I guess I'm just lucky in that sense. But as time went on, as I got older and I got to like grade 12 and stuff like that, I didn't care as much because I just got more and more comfortable with the people in my year group, and I knew that yeah, there were judgmental people in my year group, but at the same time, there were also very supportive people you've gone to school with for such a long time. We ended up just accepting one another and stuff. I don't know, because I always wanted to perform a K-pop song in my school. Like, I always wanted to dance to a K-pop song, and that's so like cringe, I don't know, when I think about it. And I eventually got the courage to do it. Like, I performed and danced to a K-pop song. That was honestly so wild, and just taking that step to just do that, it made me realize that there were people who were supporting me, and even different like year groups above me and younger, like they were supportive of it. They cheered, and it was just a fun experience and time, and I'm just so grateful that I got to do that and I wasn't judged for it. Of course, there were people who probably thought like, oh, what is she dancing to? Like, what is this? But just knowing that there were supportive teachers, there were supportive like friends around me, that's all that mattered, because I don't care about the other people who didn't like it. I just care that there were people who did like it, you know? It's all about your mindset and kind of how you want to perceive things. If you want to keep thinking like it's a negative thing, then it'll just affect you even more. I don't know. It's just, it all comes down to the person, and I'm just grateful that I didn't experience such negative judgment and just bad opinions when it came to K-pop. And eventually, as K-pop grew, actually, there were just a lot more people who started to like K-pop in my school. So like, it wasn't a bad thing if you wanted to perform K-pop or just be open with the fact that you like K-pop. So there is that. A lot of people sent me like messages about crushes and having crushes at school. If you want me to talk about that, I can talk about that in another video. I feel like I need more time to think about what I would say about crushes, and I'd like you guys to ask me what type of questions you want me to answer in terms of crushes. Okay, moving on to the last kind of category, which is just other, like it just doesn't belong anywhere else. So someone said, I am starting my college soon and I am so anxious that people there will judge me. And I just felt this on a whole nother level. Like, I know what this feels like. Just judgment all the time, regardless where I am. Me starting school, me making a video, me filming a video outside. Just judgment is such a big thing for me. Like, I'm just so scared of people judging me. And it sucks that I worry so much about it. It's just the person that I am, and a lot of people feel the same way, so you're not alone. But how I see it now is that since you said that you're starting college soon, just try to remind yourself you're starting college soon. No one knows who you are. No one knows your likes, dislikes. You're meeting new people. You're in a whole different environment. Just know that they can't judge you. And even if they are judging you, they don't know who you are. They don't know the real you. So their judgment is not even, it shouldn't really be valid, because they don't know the true, like your true self. And it just shows more about them as a person. Them judging you just shows that they are willing to make this negative assumption about you without even getting to know you already. And yeah, it just shows more about them than you. You're not doing anything, and if they're judging you already, then that ain't it, you know? That's not good at all. It's very scary. Just going to a new environment, meeting new people, it's all scary and stuff. I guess that would be my tip for not just college students, also people starting high school, grade 7, just starting school. Don't be scared. Just be yourself, because you're meeting new people and no one knows who you are. No one knows what you're like. And even if they do judge you, just remember that it just shows more about themselves than you, because if they don't know you as a person, why are they already making such a negative assumption about you? That ain't it. It'll be okay. And in terms of just starting something new and getting good grades and not knowing what to expect and stuff, in terms of studying and all of that, just try your best, you know? Yeah, there are expectations put upon all of us, especially people who have parents who are very strict and want you to do well. In the end, just always remember that even if you don't, I guess, achieve what people expect of you, like if you don't get the grades that your parents want, if you tried your best and you know that you tried your best, then that's all you can do. Like, you can't go back and retake a test, you know? Like, just do your best all the time, and if you know you did well and you know you put your all in it, then just be proud of yourself, because you made it to the end. You got that over and done with. And if you didn't get the grades that you wanted, then that's alright. Just, there's always next time, and you can always try again. And it's not the end of the world. As easy as it is for me to say that, it really isn't the end of the world, because there's always, like, everyone is going to succeed. If you put effort into it, you'll get where you want to be. And you just have to remind yourself that, because it sounds so deep, but like, it's your life, and even if people do have these expectations put upon you, they're not living it. You're the one living it, and you're the only one who's going to push yourself to get where you want to be, and you're the only one who knows where you want to be. So just do you, and it'll just be okay in the end. Do it for you, because it's your life, not because everyone else expects you to do it. Because, yeah, it's your life and you don't want to be living for anyone else. Okay, moving on is, what was your favorite year in school and why? Okay, I think I briefly mentioned this in the start, but my favorite year in school would have to be my senior year, or year 11 to year 12. It was just the best time. Even though it was stressful, it was like, I loved it. I had an amazing friend group that was super supportive, and we were all close, and we all worked hard to get the grades that we wanted. Yeah, we had fun here and there, but we still worked our asses off to do well in school. And I'm so glad that I got to, I guess, surround myself with people like that, because yeah, you want to have fun here and there, but just having people who had the same type of goal as you, it's just so fun. I'm just so grateful that I went through that. And also, it was my favorite year because not only did I have a supportive friend group, I also had amazing teachers who were very supportive as well. I had a really close relationship with my teachers. I just felt so comfortable with them at that point that I could just ask them whatever I wanted, like ask them anything. Because you know that feeling where you want to get help, but you don't have the strength to do it, or like you're just too shy to do it. Because I know that, like, I feel scared sometimes going to a teacher to ask for help, but I'm so thankful that I was close with my teachers, so there's that. I also did extracurricular activities as well. Like, I was in a dance group, and I also was a school leader, so I just tried to put myself out there a lot in my senior year, and it made me the person that I am today. Like, I feel like the person I was when I started high school would have never thought that I'd be the person that I ended up being after I left high school. Like, starting high school, I was like so shy. I didn't want to do anything. Like, I wasn't putting myself out there. I would have never thought that I'd be a school leader. I would have never thought that I'd be a leader for a dance group. Like, I didn't know that I'd ever enter competitions and stuff like that. And I didn't think that I'd even get the grades that I got. I was a whole different person, and I'm so glad that I went through what I went through, because I just feel like I grew to be a better person, a more stronger and confident person, and I'm so happy that I went through that. So my tip for you guys is, I think you guys should just go crazy, go wild, go stupid. Just try new things sometimes, like do public speaking or just enter or go into a club or anything like that. I mean, everyone in school is different and stuff, but if they offer things like that, I highly recommend you guys try it, because you don't know what you'll get out of it. Like, you don't know, maybe you'll meet new friends, maybe you'll become closer with your teachers, maybe you'll become a more confident person. There's just so many things that could happen when you put yourself out there. It's scary at first, but it's just so rewarding when you get something out of it like that, whether it's personal growth or whether it's friends or whether it's just, I don't know, you know what I mean. Like, if you have the chance to put yourself out there, just YOLO, just do it, because I don't know, I'm so glad that I put myself out there, even though at the start I wasn't that type of person. That's one of the main advices that I could give you right now, and hopefully some of you guys take that advice and it ends up going well for some of you, because it definitely went well for me and I wouldn't change anything about what I went through. Okay, the last thing that I wanted to go over, because I've been talking for way too long and there's just so many things I could talk about, but this video is gonna end up being so long, and I'm pretty sure it's already long, so yeah, I'm just gonna talk about one more thing and just kind of blabber about it until this video ends. So yeah, the last thing is my post-high school experience, because as you know, your girl is not in school anymore and I'm currently not in college or university, so I guess I could just give you insights about what my life is like now after high school, and yeah, kind of just tell you guys what it's like for those of you who are still in school and worried about what's gonna happen once you graduate. Because I know some of my friends in the journaling community, they are in their senior year, and I guess I'll just give you guys my 2 cents on what it's like after graduating, you know? So my goal after high school was to go to university and do a course and just get my degree, this and that. But life took an unexpected turn and it just didn't work out in the end. And to be honest, it really hit me how unexpected life is, how much things can change after a certain amount of months, weeks, just after time passes. You just don't know where life will take you. And it was really hard after high school because I loved high school so much, to the point where I just missed it. I still miss it till this day, but you know, can't do anything about it. But for me, I just loved it so much, to the point that when I experienced new things such as going to college and stuff like that, it wasn't for me, and I didn't vibe with it as much, because yeah, I really liked what I got in high school, and that's so cringe, but that's just how I felt. But yeah, everyone's experience after high school is like different, so I can't say that this is what's gonna happen, this and that. But what I can say is that just enjoy your time in high school, because you might think that it's bad and you might hate high school. You have it so easy in high school, in my opinion, because once you're out of high school, you're in the real world. You're gonna have to go through the adulting stages of being independent. Universities, the tutors and teachers, they don't have your back as much as high school teachers do. And I mean, that's just coming from my experience. I think that you get so much help from high school, but once you're put into college and university, it's kind of different. Like, you kind of just have to, like, you really have to push yourself at that point. Like, you have to be independent, you have to be on top of your work, and teachers aren't going to remind you like, oh, you have an assignment due next week. You know, like, they're not gonna push you and they're not gonna spoon feed you this and that. So I don't know, I feel like I took high school for granted, and I just, even though I did appreciate it at that moment, I feel like I didn't appreciate it enough. And when I see people kind of talk about how much they hate high school and how much they can't wait to graduate, I don't know, I personally think that you should enjoy your high school moments more often, because it's really fun. That part of your life, even though you have to like stress about work, get certain grades in certain classes, still have fun with it, because it really is an important part of your growth as a person and who you meet and how you act. Yeah, also remember that your friend group in high school, you might not end end up being friends after high school, so don't stress too much about if you don't have friends in high school, then it's alright. Because I mean, for me, I don't talk to my high school friends that much anymore because everyone has their own lives. I mean, we kind of just have each other in social media, but we don't hang out as much as we used to, which is sad. But in the end, it's not the end of the world if your friendships don't last or you don't have friends. You will always have a chance to meet new people and make new friends, so don't worry too much about that. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Whatever happens, happens. And that is what my yearbook quote was in high school, and that's just the way life is for me. Like, whatever happens, happens, you know? Everyone is bound to succeed and you will have your time to shine. So if ever you're going through problems in high school, stress with school, studying, friends, all of that, don't worry. You will have time to shine and positivity will come your way and it'll just be good in the end. So don't worry. Just have fun and live your best life. That's basically your youth. Like, you stay in high school, you literally grow up in high school. And high school is pretty crucial in my opinion, like, to one's growth. So enjoy that time and just try your best to be the person you want to be. And yeah. Okay, I have been talking way too much in this video. I will just try to finish this spread now, and then I'll just talk to you guys in the end once I'm done, because that's pretty much all I wanted to say, or that's pretty much all I wanted to kind of go over for this video. If you want me to talk about more school related things, more in depth as well, because I feel like for this video it's more chill and I guess I kind of just rushed through a lot of things. But if you wanted me to go more in depth about certain topics, just let me know in the comments and maybe I can make a video about it where I'm just kind of talking to you guys and just chit-chatting, and maybe like a girl talk type of video. Let me know if you guys would like a video like that. But yeah, I will just finish this journal spread first and then I'll just talk to you guys once I'm almost done. Okay, I think I am now done with this spread and I am not sure if I want to add anything else, so yeah, that's why I'm pretty much done. And this was a pretty chillaxing video, I must say. I'm not sure, I feel like I rambled a lot in this video, so I hope I made some sense, I guess, at some point. If I didn't, I am so sorry. If you guys like these type of chit chat videos, let me know in the comment section. And also, if you want me to talk more about my high school experience, more in depth and stuff like that, I would be more than happy to do that, so let me know also in the comment section. If you also want me to talk about anything in particular that I didn't mention in this video, let me know. I'd love to talk more about this type of topic, or I guess just talk more about school in general, because a lot of you guys are still in school, and I'd love to kind of tell you guys what I went through and just let you guys know more about me. Yeah, let me know, and if you like this video, please like this video, and also comment below if you like this spread that I made, and also just how you felt in general while watching this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. It would be highly appreciated, so subscribe if you like my content, my videos, and myself. And yeah, other than that, I hope we can journal again in another video. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a good day. Please take care of yourselves, and I'll just talk to you guys later. Bye!